lady. The young ladies were 19, 19, and 18. Now, it says in the story that there was a little disagreement at a club or an event place between both parties. The group of young ladies that at the time of the incident called themselves the Outlaws. The Outlaws. Okay, all right.
What does it mean an outlaw?
Well, it's not in-laws. It's nothing good, I can tell you that. All right? Between this particular group of young ladies at the time, I'm going to stress at the time, call themselves the Outlaws, and the deceased and some other persons with her.
Wow.
Right? Things got a little heated. They decided to leave, and the deceased went home in Fair Hall, and the group of ladies followed her there, started to fight. It says in the story as well that the deceased sister introduced a knife, and somehow it got into one of the young ladies' hands, and that was the weapon that was used to take the life of Mr. Silver on September 4th, 2017. 4 years plus ago, they were sentenced yesterday. They got, let me get the exact figures for you. Kind of moved away from that one for a bit, but it's, where did they go? All right. So 7 years, 6 months for two ladies, and the young lady who actually had, well, who caused the actual death, 9 years and 9 months. Went on to Facebook, obviously underneath Eyewitness News post there, and looking through some of the comments. I'm gonna share a little bit. You can hit us up and let us know how you feel about it. If it were somebody who you knew, somebody dear to you, how would you feel hearing that that was the sentence for the three young ladies, and hearing that they're only gonna spend, because they've been on remand for 4+ years, 4 years and a couple months, knowing that they're only gonna spend just a few more years behind bars for what they did back in 2017. Bearing in mind as well, I'm just setting it here for you, right? Bearing in mind as well that you cannot bring back a life. A life is gone. That is it.
Right,
Full stop. You can't bring her back.
You have to forgive.
All right?
You have to be granted a second chance.
All right? And they were just 18, 18, and 19
Exactly.
at the time, right?
As I mentioned
Teenagers,
earlier,
right?
they were young and dumb, not thinking through what could happen when they do something wrong. I mean, because if you look at the name of the crew, Outlaw, it means rebellious.
I remember at that time there was a bit of an uproar from the country concerning young people and the kind of activities that they might have been getting themselves involved in. And if one group of young ladies could get together, or young people could get together and call themselves by a name that is not positive, just imagine who else out there were doing the same thing. People were very upset at the time. So if you want to hit us up, 430-1043, that's the WhatsApp, 457-1043, that's the number to call. Now, some of the responses coming from the Facebook post, something all right, things like not enough time, they should have gotten more lifetime, they knew better, it should have been a life sentence, they could never bring her back, all you're too wicked. 8-10 years, should have been sentenced to life imprisonment. People were even making threats on social media.
So basically, the public, majority of the public are the persons there, they don't agree with the sentence that is handed down to the...
Nope. I see people making reference to
other crimes.
Enoch's murder, and the gentleman would have gotten 31 years thereabout, subject to correction, my apologies. And comparing it to this particular case, But it's different, right? Each case, every matter that goes before the court has to be dealt with specifically. You can't really draw a reference. You cannot draw a comparison. One was murder. Although this case started out as murder, they did some talkings here and there, DPP, lawyers, and so on and so on and so forth, and it was reduced to manslaughter, which is different to murder. Murder means like you plan it out and you go with the intent to take that person's life. Manslaughter is like, okay, you get into an argument, we start fighting, and you die in the process. That covers manslaughter. It's different. The sentences, well, the number of years you get, not the same. In addition to that, why you cannot compare the two or one case versus the next. There are different factors that play a role in any crime. So you'd have on one side your mitigating factors, on another side you will have your aggravating factors. So the mitigating factors are the ones that would, so let's say for example, your sentence starts out at 10 years. Your mitigating factors, let me make sure that I get this right. Your mitigating factors would, I think it's decrease the number of years.
Because you're already behind bars.
No, not necessarily already behind bars, but the mitigating factors are the things that would work for you. Right. They will work for you. Aggravating are the things that would add to that number of years. When you aggravate somebody, going along that line. So the aggravating factors would make your sentence higher. The mitigating would make it lower. So you have to weigh all those two. They were young. That would have been a mitigating factor. The first offense, they were remorseful. They wrote letters. They said, I'm sorry to the state for what happened. They said, I'm sorry to the family. And then there was a guilty plea. And with a guilty plea, you get a little discount on your sentence. All those things are considered when you are sentencing people for whatever crime they might have committed. But people, I don't know what to say.
Some persons don't even know the judicial system. And they just go under the post and they just run them out.
Just make it harder. That is why people go to school to study these things. It is difficult to understand.
So I won't really go off of some of the comments there. The parts where they make threats now, I would look into those. But sometimes people just voice their opinion
based on emotions.
Yeah, based on emotions. And as you just mentioned, it was two different things that they're making a comparison to. Enoch was that was the one in the barbershop?
No.
Okay.
It was the one out country, out Argyle.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember that one.
That one was a particular story.
Oh.
We don't want to go back down. Don't want to go back down that road this morning
with
at all.
The young man. Okay.
Hold on. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, Crystal. Crash going on.
Hey, what's up, man?
Crystal, I love how you break it down for those man like me to understand. Because I was just about to call and say murder and manslaughter is two different things. And we from the outside looking in, I'm not justifying the girl who get killed. But like you said, it's young people. And one life destroy, you don't want to destroy 4 lives. Yes. Emotionally you want to say, boy, yeah, them kill somebody so like we lose them in the prison system. But the girls, them over the years, I think I see the same girl, they was performing like a Christmas performance when people, inmates were allowed to talent and all them things. So maybe they are somewhat rehabilitated. And you say they send letters, I didn't even know that they send letters and apologize and the fact that
letters were written.
You see what I'm saying? So they're actually remorseful. It's not something to be proud of. It's a heat at the moment activity. And somebody end up on dead. That's why I see me don't fight. Because if me and you fight, you might dead accidentally and now me get myself in a thing. Me go argue, but when it come to fight, me I take to myself. You know what I'm saying? Because if we are fight and you fall along or me stomp me trip and fall along and hit my head and dead, you go jail for manslaughter, simple so. So we have to be very careful and use this as a learning experience that we must learn to mediate arguments better than violence, you know what I'm saying? And then like people say no, they follow she home or whatever the case may be, but the knife was introduced by his sister. So if the knife was never introduced, and I'm not putting blame on his sister because again, heat at the moment. You know what I'm saying?
But something,
Heat at the moment.
as you mentioned that though, right? Just think it through for a bit. They were going to their place of residence. They were being followed after an argument at another location. And I'm not saying that what happened was right, but I could sort of understand how the weapon came in to the scene in the first place. Because if somebody coming after me, hello,
You're gonna try to get something.
Right.
I am gonna try to defend myself.
Self-defense.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the intent was. Maybe we'll never find out. But I mean, that is one possible
Right.
thought that people could have.
So question. So who follow who? The girls follow the one girl who got killed, or the one girl who got killed follow the three girls?
3 girls. The girls followed the person who got killed to the
Who?
person who got killed's home.
Okay.
So
It's a very-
the Silver who lost her life, and she was going home. It was in her yard.
Yeah, okay, it thing happening. Yeah, you see, so, boy, it's a very, regardless how we look at it, it's a very sad situation. And I hope these girls, when they get out of jail, they could become motivational speakers for young girls who want to form such groups in the future and say, okay, I lose 10 years of my life, I could have potentially lose more. This was a stupid decision we made, and this was the outcome of it. So, you know what I mean? We have to use it and say, how can we prevent it from happening in the future? Because every time we look around, we see somebody fighting and people recording and this and that and the other, and people egging on people. Yes, I understand people feel emotional and feel eye for eye. I get that. And before you break it down on a crystal, before I call on her, I was one of them persons about them girls should have get life. But when you really break it down and make a dotish man like me understand what's going on, my whole mindset changed before I met this call on her. So thank you, Crystal, for breaking it down for a dotish body like me.
Max, you always trust in dotishism.
Yeah.
Man, you know it with pride.
Okay.
It with pride because, yeah. So thank you for that, Crystal. You know, Crystal Crash.
All right.
Yeah, man.
You have a good one,
Yeah.
Max. Feel free to call us again, 457-1043. WhatsApp 430-1043. Somebody is saying that being a juror is such a great experience. You learn so much about the court system. If it ain't court easy, listen, I give kudos to all lawyers, to all judges, to all magistrates, everybody who working in the system. Y'all big up yourselves at the same time. I don't think that's not a job for everybody at all. Like, you have to, the amount of things that you are going to have to know from your clients, it's about, like, when it boils down, you know, it's not about who's guilty or innocent to the court. It's who could present the case better, who could put together the files and put together everything and put the
Imagine.
case forward.
And
You
then-
is convincing the jury.
And then the lawyer has the burden of knowing, like, the person did the crime.
If they in fact,
And then suppose you're against those kind of stuff. Let's say you're a lawyer.
well,
I
don't
come
take
to
the
you-
case.
I come to you and I'm like, and
Don't
then
take the
you
case.
came to me first and you was like, I didn't do it to the lie.
Boy,
And then the heat of the matter now you tell me, yo, I really did it to her. You just throw the client like that.
you know, one of the accused, before she was sentenced, she actually, the lawyer walk off the job, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The last young lady who got close to 10 years, 9 years, 9 months, her lawyer just, because she pleaded guilty to manslaughter. Like, yep, okay, bye, packing up shop, goodbye. They had to get her another lawyer. And you know, this is another thing that people don't grasp easily. I try to choose my words carefully. When cases go on for days, not days, and days and days, for years and years and years, it's for a reason or a bunch of reasons. Sometimes you have issues with the lawyer, sometimes you have issues with evidence,
Client.
sometimes you have issues with the client, sometimes somebody does not show up, somebody doesn't do this, there's conflicts of interest. Maybe the judge has to recuse him or herself, maybe the lawyers have to do the same thing. A bunch of stuff could go wrong. If you make one mistake, you carry on that case for infinity. Not infinity in reality,
Yes, but-
you just carry it on. And then if a witness says, well, I don't want to do this anymore, changes up
This
everything.
taking too long. I could just
It changes. You think it's easy being a witness too? It ain't easy being jury. It's not easy being accused and co-accused. It's not easy being the lawyer and the judge and so on. And then the judge at the end of the day has to face the criticism of society who do not agree with the sentencing, but there are sentencing guidelines. Like for every particular crime, you start at a particular number. You start a particular number of years. Then you add on take away. And then the guilty or not guilty plea, you add and take away. He has to go according to the guidelines. And it's not just guidelines for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's for the Eastern Caribbean. So I'm sorry for him or her. They get a lot of blame, unfair blame, per se.
for things that they have no control over.
But they have to go with the guidelines. They can't change nothing. We could still get upset from time to time, but at the end of the day, done gone. Ain't nothing you could do about it. But, I mean, if you have the time, it's rather interesting seeing and hearing. I know that sometimes you can go, as an ordinary citizen, you can go and sit in court. I'm not too sure which cases you can go to, right?
It would depend on the case.
Right. But you can go and find out and go and sit down and see how it goes. There's a lot to learn, as somebody said, about the court system. And there are different is it courts? Yeah, high court.
Family court, magistrate court,
and
serious offense.
Court is court.
right, court and court, brother. Court and court. All right, we're gonna take a break right now. Good morning to Nicola. Good morning, Jimmy. Good morning to Twin. We got a bit of drama coming your way, but that's coming up a little later on this morning. All right.
Hit us